Welcome to Blunt Talk Podcast with host and best-selling author Gino Arcaro. Blunt Talk Podcast is sponsored by X Fitness and Jordan Publications, publisher of Gino Arcaro's book, Soul of a Lifter. To reach your personal best, buy Gino's book, Soul of a Lifter, at Amazon.com or GinoArcaro.com.
Learn to drive. Let me repeat that, ladies and gentlemen. Learn to drive. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Blunt Talk Podcast. We're broadcasting today from the newly renovated third floor of my gym, X Fitness, Welland, Ontario, Canada. X Fitness is deeply and profoundly committed to lift in mind, body, and soul, and to the celebration of good, inspirational news only. Join X Fitness, and I guarantee you will be lifted and you will lift for life. Guaranteed. 100% fact. Here's real life lesson number 11,561 that I've taught football players for 40 years, college law enforcement students for 2 decades, and my women's lifting team for over 2 years. Learn to drive. My number one priority every single workout of my life is to never, ever, ever, ever lose my drive at anything, working out or otherwise. The reason is this: lose your drive, you're not alive. Let me repeat that. Lose your drive, you're not alive. Inner drive is the number one element of any achievement. Real life kills drive. The number one reason for broken hearts and broken dreams is loss of drive, suffered from losing the fight with real life. Drive is governed by the 10-90 rule. Over 90% suffer drive diminishment early in life, which gradually declines until the fire goes out completely. Less than 10% don't suffer full drive diminishment, but only 1.4% of that 10% never, ever, ever lose their drive, period. Learn to drive. He who drives the most wins the most. Your drive is your inner force that moves you. Drive is connected to need, not want. If your business is out of shape, check your drive. If your career is out of shape, check your drive. If your team is out of shape, check your drive. If your mind is out of shape, learn to drive. If your body is out of shape, learn to drive. If your soul is out of shape, learn to drive. Drive doesn't just happen. Nothing just happens. You got to learn to drive, and then you got to practice your drive. Every human has to learn to drive. Every human has to be taught to drive and drive hard. First set tonight, 6:30 p.m. in the hashtag basement at X Fitness with my women's lifting team. Life is absolutely too short to cut short working out. It'll never happen, ever. Life is too short to live it weak. Life is too short to live it half-assed, to live it in mediocrity, and to live it in the 5th degree of complacency.
Reach your personal best. Build your team's best. Buy Gino Arcaro's book, Soul of a Lifter, available in softcover or ebook at Amazon.com.
Top 1,000 workout song of the day. The Unforgiven by Metallica. The live version from the iconic album, Binge and Purge. Released in 1993, year 24 of my 49-year workout streak. It's a mega masterpiece. $1.29 on iTunes, guaranteed to lift. My number one coaching challenge for 43 years has been and always will be fixing bad attitudes. 43 years of coaching has made me an expert in attitude adjustment. Effed up attitudes don't just happen. They are learned. They develop through a system of rewards and reinforcements. Parents, relatives, teachers are just some of the people in society that contribute to the rewarding and reinforcing of bad attitudes that manifest in arrogance and ignorance. Coaching football and college law enforcement teaching exposed me to unusual and unnatural quantity and quality of bad attitudes. Some of the worst attitudes that you can imagine. You have to experience it to believe it. Here's the good news. Bad attitudes will change. I have a 12-step process that works with 100% efficiency. Guaranteed. Here's rule number 1. I am not their friend. Here's rule number 2. I don't try to get likes, and I don't try to be liked. I'll explain the rest later. Blood Talk Podcast is on a mission to reach and lift all 7 billion humans on planet Earth. Please help us spread our message to the entire planet by sharing this Blunt Talk Podcast with at least 3 people to lift them. And I guarantee you, you will feel the lifter's high. If you can share it with more than 3 people, I promise you, you will feel a deeper, more profound lifter's high, because there's no greater reward than lifting other people. In just 4 years, Blunt Talk Podcast has reached over 54,000 listeners in 83 countries. Please continue sending your comments and questions to podcast@GinoArcaro.com. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for record-breaking months in January, February, and now we're on pace for another record-breaking month in April. So much love to our worldwide audience. Blessings and all good things. Peace.
Don't waste your potential. Don't waste your team's potential. Buy Soul of a Lifter now.